The legendary Queen of Sheba. She is said to have held a monopoly over the frankincense trade from which an enormous kingdom was built. She was written about in both the Bible and the Quran. About 3,000 years ago, it is said that the Queen of Sheba visited King Solomon, who reigned over Jerusalem, to question his wisdom. On her visit, she led her own camel caravan and brought vast quantities of frankincense as a gift. The people of Jerusalem were amazed at her wealth. The king and queen, who grew to admire each other after engaging in a battle of wits, fell in love, and the two countries formed friendly relations. A beautiful queen of incomparable intelligence. Painters of all ages and countries have sought to capture the archetypal queen and depict her image. No evidence of the legendary queen's actual existence, however, has been discovered. There is also much speculation as to where the queen had lived. Many myths about the queen have emerged in various regions, not only in Yemen, but also in Ethiopia and northern Arabia. Her existence and whereabouts are one of the great mysteries of ancient history. "4 hours from the town of Sana'a by car. We have heard that an excavation that has attracted worldwide attention is now underway, and decide to head over to the site. We may find a clue that will unlock the mystery behind the legend of the Queen of Sheba." On site, research is being conducted in the broiling heat of nearly 50 degrees Celsius.
Assalamu alaikum. Dr. Osman?
This is Dr. Osman, the archaeologist heading the excavation. For 20 years, he has been searching for hard evidence to affirm Sheba's existence. Massive stone pillars come into our view.
هذه 8 أعمدة والمدخل الرئيسي المعمد. هذا معبد الملكة بلقيس وهو معبد أوام.
The Queen of Sheba is believed to have visited King Solomon about 3,000 years ago. The doctor presumes that the ruin was built around that time. The outer perimeter of the temple is roughly 1 kilometer, a colossal ruin for which there is no precedent in the ancient Arabian Peninsula. We are the first camera crew ever allowed to film inside the ruins. Stone pillars rise sky-high in front of the temple. In ancient Arabia, stone structures demonstrate a deep reverence for the heavens. Given this, the temple here is believed to have been dedicated to the moon god. The images carved into the walls are of creatures rarely seen in the desert. Faces of goats. The shape of their horns resemble that of a crescent moon, Thus, they are thought to be an incarnation of the moon itself. The moon was of grave importance to ancient caravan merchants, as their life and death depended on it. As caravans traveled by night to avoid the heat of day, the moon acted as a guiding light. The doctor believes that the Queen of Sheba herself also traversed the desert, worshipping the moon god along with the entire nation. The queen was said to have great influence throughout Arabia. Dr. Osman has discovered an artifact which suggests that this was once an important location for the queen. A stone inscription in ancient Arabic. Researchers work to decrypt an alphabet that had vanished more than 1,000 years ago.
قدموا للإله المكة سيد معبد أوام بن ابن من
بن همدان
على من همدان
من همدان بأقوال
The words chiseled on the inscription indicate that worshippers from all areas of the Silk Road gathered here. In support of this theory, several different variations of stone carvings have been found along the temple's periphery. They are faces of people who had come to this holy place on a pilgrimage and lost their lives. Significant differences in hairstyles and bone structures reveal that the pilgrims were made up of a great many races and ethnicities. This discovery deepened Dr. Osman's belief that, in its day, the temple was once the cradle of Arab civilization and may even have been inhabited by the Queen of Sheba.
نحن نعتقد إنه الملكة بلقيس كل الأدلة في هذا المكان حيتحول يعني ما كان رواية وما كان اعتقاد إلى حقيقة.
From the doctor's 20 years of research, the true identity of the temple from the Sheba dynasty, one of the mysteries of ancient history, is becoming ever clearer. The colossal temple, complete with an oval-shaped hall, reveals the sheer wealth generated by the frankincense trade. Pilgrims gathered from all regions along the Silk Road, traversing the desert. The inscriptions are believed to have been offered to the moon god by merchants who traded in frankincense. The temple grounds were filled with the scent of the frankincense offerings to the deity. Pilgrims dedicated the inscriptions and prayed for a successful caravan and for the safety of their families. Before setting off on her journey to meet King Solomon, the Queen of Sheba herself may have worshipped here, immersed in the aroma of frankincense. The legendary temple of the Sheba dynasty. In the 7th century, frankincense trade had dramatically subsided due to the rise of Islam, which did not make use of frankincense in religious rituals, and the temple grounds were eventually engulfed.